Welcome to Espresso Yourself, Mom, Teacher, and Runner Talk, the podcast where lesson plans meet lattes and long runs.
We're four women juggling the journey of motherhood, teaching personal goals, and a whole lot of caffeine.
Here, we keep it real, the messy, the meaningful, and the moments in between.
So grab your coffee and join us for honest conversations, a few laughs, and a reminder that you're not in this alone.
Welcome back to Espresso Yourself. This week, we are talking about reading for fun and reading for professional development, how we like to read, when we have time to read, and what's our favorite. But before we get into our reading, let's catch up.
First, we have to say happy birthday to Katie. Her birthday's coming up. And it looked like your people in your office celebrated you so well this week.
They did. They typically decorate whoever's office it is, and then you get all these treats. But in my previous school, there's so many people, so I'm not used to it. But now that I'm with a smaller department, they really do celebrate you. And it was funny. I had people in my office all day, cycling through. And I got home Friday night and I was beat. I was like, I'm so tired. And my husband's like, why? And I was like, I peopled a lot today. I said, a lot of people came in my office. I said, we did a lot of things. I said, I had more coffee than what I ever should have had today. And I'm exhausted, just beat. But it was super, super sweet. They really took care of me. Thankful for all of them. Because I'm not one to make a huge deal of my birthday. I'm not like, ooh, let's make a whole week of it. No, I'm like, okay, let's, this morning I went to brunch for it because my brunch place isn't open on my actual birthday and my husband's working on my actual birthday. So I was like, let's just, do it now. But it was nice to be celebrated. But yeah.
That's awesome. Anything to catch up on this week besides your birthday?
I went to a lot of classes this week and I filmed a lot. And in doing so, the flu and strep was running rampant through every school that I was in. And at one point, I was at one high school and their mascot is the Pioneer. And high school kids, they started calling it the Pioneer Plague. And they said, oh, do you have the Pioneer Plague? And they're just talking about all these kids. And I was like, y'all, it's the flu. It's the flu or it's strep. But, high schoolers have to make something of it. But there was one class that I visited and they said, oh, yeah, the class next door was missing 14 kids in one class. In one class period, 14 kids. I was like, oh my gosh. So at one point, before I went to my next school, I was like, I need to go get a mask and put a mask on because I do not want to get sick because I'm off for this entire week. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is catch the cold, flu, whatever's going around. So yeah, well, let's hope I don't get the flu. But there was one room I went into. It was a first grade elementary class and these kids were freaking adorable. But the teacher gave me Miss Honey vibes, from Matilda. And I was like, oh my gosh, this lady is just like Miss Honey, how she talked to him, how she was just teaching. And I was like, she is so good. And the funny part about it was she had a bee theme to her room. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe somebody's told her this because her theme fits her as well. And so I just saw some really good teaching this week and it was cool to see. And then of course, around the many illnesses of the schools. So let's hope I don't get sick. But that was a good week. It was busy though, super busy. I know y'all were saying y'all were super busy and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why did they put all the things right before break? Because I felt like every single one of us were just busy every day, all day.
Yeah. I wish I love that you get to go to other classrooms. I wish that as teachers, we were able to do that too, because we don't ever get to see anyone else's classroom. And I would love to get to go see, actually, I was able to go into my team leader's classroom this past week, but I would love to see what other schools are doing because we're kind of in our own little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And, we don't ever get together with other kindergarten teachers and,
I made the suggestion to my boss because she's the director of professional development. And I said, hey, you should take these videos that I'm making and editing and show snippets to new teachers because she does new teacher training once a month. And I said, this shouldn't just be used for calibration. You need to use it for other teachers. This is good teaching. And so I can tell she's like liking the idea, but of course, we have to get it approved and everything. So just kind of sitting and waiting on that. But I really think, like you said, people don't get to go to other campuses. So I think this would be a way that you can show good teaching, but not take them out of their own classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. That just, obviously there's no time or subs or money to be able to do that during a workday. But yeah, that's the next best option. Cause it's cool to see someone else's classroom, how it's set up, how it's run, just little snippets of ideas. And then that can just enhance your own teaching. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. I hope it does get approved.
I think
Yeah.
it will.
Yeah.
I got a couple other big things approved this week too. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting some wins. Okay. It's just, they have to see. And I think I'm starting to kind of build that trust. And so they're like, yeah, no, we need to do that. We need to do that. Oh, yes, we approve that. So it was a good week in terms of like getting things approved. Some little wins.
That's awesome. Allyson, how did the new structure of I know, I've been thinking about you all week because needing to
Well,
create and do.
let's just say it started with I am just flying by the seat of my pants on Monday because I did not have much planned. I spent the rest of the afternoon just racking my brain on how I wanted to do it. What does it need to look like? And I knew what I wanted, but I couldn't quite find exactly how I wanted it. I did look at that, is it CurryPod that you mentioned, Katie? And I played around with that, but I was like, I don't want to spend too much time on it in case we couldn't get it to work in our school system. So I was like, I had one planned just in case. I was going to try it on an iPad. But then my youngest got sick. So he actually got sick Saturday night, and he was supposed to go with my mom to go see Frozen downtown. That was part of his birthday gift. Well, his belly hurt. He had thrown up in the morning. So we're like, probably shouldn't take him. So he was so bummed all day Sunday. He was just sad. So I was like, okay, we will rent Gabby Dollhouse movie because he's into that. I rented it on TV so that he could watch it at home to make up for him not getting to go. So he was doing well. Like he played on the trampoline Sunday, and then about 11 o'clock at night, threw up all in his bed. So then he ended up sleeping with us. He was up in the bathroom, just out both ends. So I barely got any sleep. So I'm going in on a Monday after having a sick kid. So he stayed home on Monday with my husband. Thank goodness he can work from home and I don't have to worry about making sub plans. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to make sub plans on a day we're supposed to switch for the first time. Like that's a nightmare. And my coworker also was sick over the weekend, but she's like, I had to go because we had these switches. So I was like, I knew what I was gonna do. I had a plan for both, but I didn't have anything planned after day one. I was like, I'm kind of seeing how today goes. And then day two, I was going to get this art. I was going to print these. Yeah, it was Tuesday. I was going to print off these resources. Well, then our internet, we were having issues with, I couldn't get our Raz Kids program to upload. Well, that's where I was going to print off. I'm like, okay, I'll AI a article. AI wouldn't work. Nothing was working. I'm like, "Oh, crap." So then I got onto my coworker. She's like, you can just steal my lesson. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, I looked at what we did last year and I looked 3 days ahead. I'm like, I can move this up because I have the higher group for reading. Like, I'll just shift this up. And then after that day, by day two, I was like, okay, I know what direction I'm headed. And then I got it all planned out for the rest of the week. Like I have Monday and Tuesday planned out because I gave myself the grace of I'm not going to pull groups. I'm not pulling small groups this week. And half the time we don't even have time for it. By the time we do the I do and we do and then I send them off on their way. I looked at maybe 2 of their papers this week because I've just spent so much, but I will say it's so nice having them all pretty much at the same level because they're all getting done around the same time, or they're all I can intervene easier than having these kids that are really, really struggling. And I'm trying to also help these kids in the midst, my bubble kids. So I've just been using the feedback from the day before, whatever paper they had. I'm like, okay, this kid, and this kid, they needed help with evidence. So I'm going to pull them really quick before they do today's activity. And it was just so much easier to target because they were all on the same page. And like with math, we were doing fractions and we're doing improper and mixed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gave them a simple fraction paper and I had like 5 or 6 kids who didn't write the numbers in the right places. Like they flipped the top and bottom. Like, okay, I'm going to really need to pull these kids, hit this again, because they're not going to get anything else if they're flipping those numbers. And then I didn't stick to the math lessons. On Friday, I was like, nope, we need to go back to the basics of mixed and improper again because they're not getting it. And I can't move forward because once we get into adding them and doing all the other things, they're going to have to know how to switch them. So I was able to be more of a responsive teacher because I wasn't trying to stick to a schedule that all of us were doing. Because before, like we would all like have it mapped out. Now I can just kind of base my lessons. And I've realized I can't plan ahead too far. And usually I'm like a planner and I can't do that. Like I like to at least have a few days ahead, but I can be responsive, which it's going really well. Like honestly, we've gotten to a routine now. Granted, we'll go have Thanksgiving and then we'll come back and have to probably reteach procedures again. But we got like bins. The school ordered us purple and blue bins. So we'd have 2 different colors. So they have a reading bin and a math bin. And so their desks are so much more organized now because they have the stuff that they need to take to reading. They put their iPad in there. They put their crayon box. They take it. They go to the next room. They bring it back. When it's math time, they have their math. And then I have my black ones that I've usually had for them that they keep all their other stuff in. So it's so much more organized because their stuff has to be in a specific place. So it is going well. It's just been a long, long week because on top of that, and then like Monday, the kids have ninja. Tuesday, we had our literacy night, which I'm part of the literacy PDL, whatever. And so like we had to plan it. We had to put it together. We had that. So I was trying to be a mom and then work it. And it was just exhausting. We had guidance on Friday and our guidance counselor came in and she said, this has been the longest, what'd she say? This has been the longest month of the week or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, it has. Like this week it felt like it lasted forever. And knowing that we still have to go back for 2 days. We still have Monday and Tuesday.
Can you
And
do
we
fun
have to
stuff?
stick. Not really, but I have an escape room planned for my math kiddos, which it's math. And then for my reading group, I'm doing a Jeopardy game, which is like review of the things we've done. So I do have some games, but they're still educational. But no black lights, nothing crazy like Halloween. I don't think they'll be as crazy.
I would say the last 2 days of school, they learned a lot. But I did not instruct a lot.
So do kids like leave early on Wednesday, Allyson, from
We don't-
your class? Like from,
We
not
don't have
Tuesday. Sorry, I meant Tuesday.
Not generally.
Okay, because we had kids already like taking half days on Friday. Like they were like taken off. There were even like people working in the district. So my device was having issues on Friday and I'm putting in tickets. Half the technology building was already taken off. And I was like, and then at the admin building, the parking lot was so empty. I was like, we get a whole week. Where is everybody? They were peacing out early. A lot of them
Maybe
took
they were
Friday off.
traveling, but why? There's a whole week.
It's because Wicked was out.
You had pink and green.
I know. I saw your
Yes.
Friday post, your happy hour, and then
Yeah.
go see Wicked.
Yeah. It was great. No contest though, because one of my friends, the one that I went to New York with over the summer for our musical theater workshop, she like bought all the tickets for us. There were the 8 of us that went. And then she is going to go see it on Tuesday with her mom. And then she's going to go see it on Wednesday with one of our other coworkers who couldn't come on Friday. So she's going to see it 3 times. 3 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Allyson and I even haven't seen it once.
I know. It is good. It is really
Yeah.
good.
Well, I got to figure out because my sister's birthday is on the 27th. Hers falls on Thanksgiving. And last year we went to see the first one for her birthday. And she took all 3 of her kids. I took both of my boys because Hayes was like, loved all the previews for Wicked. Like he loves the witch thing and he loves pink. So like he was obsessed with it even after watching it. Oliver fell asleep and my nephew fell asleep in the movie theater. Surprising. Even when we ended up watching it when it released at home, Oliver he did not have the attention span to watch it. Hayes could sit there and watch the whole thing. He'd watch it on repeat. So we're planning on going again with my sister and my mom, and I will take Hayes and she'll take the nieces. And Oliver's like, I want to go. I'm like, I am not taking you to go see it. You fell asleep the first time, and I know you will not make it through. I'm not wasting my money again on a ticket. You couldn't even watch it when it was out at home. So no, but Hayes
Yeah.
is definitely looking forward to it. And then I don't know when we're going to go see it. I'm not like rushed because I think Wednesday we are going to go see Zootopia as
Zootopia
a
too.
family. Yeah. So I'm more excited to see that right now as a family because it's a family movie that we love and
Yeah.
we'll go see it
Yeah.
together. And then we'll turn around and go see Wicked at some point. I
Yeah.
just got to get that figured out with my sister.
I sent you guys a picture.
So who is that?
Okay, so this is from 2011, and the park district that both my husband and I worked for, I was part of their theater productions, and so that's me. I was Elphaba,
You were
but
okay.
I was the flying Elphaba. So they had an Elphaba and a Glinda who were on standing on the stage singing. It was they did a Tony Awards review show. So they didn't do Wicked, but a Tony, but one of them was Defying Gravity. And so I was the Elphaba that was flying in silks, in Cirque. And so I did the silks flying Elphaba, and then the singing Elphaba was standing on the stage. But I knew that I knew Glinda, so I was like, let's take a picture together. But yeah, that I showed it to Carson, my 9-year-old, and he was like, what? I said, yeah. He goes, how old were you there? I said, well, it's 2025. Subtract the 25 minus 11 was 14 years ago. So even before I was married. Yeah, but that was fun. I got painted like that 4 times. Yeah.
Did it take forever to get off?
I don't think so. I don't remember what they used. They were kind of just like, okay, Becky, you're going to go and get painted. And then I was 4 times for 4 shows. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just remember my husband, this was before kids, and we did, we were with my nephews and they were about my kids' age, actually probably younger, 2 and 4. And he went as the Hulk. He just got a Hulk shirt and he painted his face green. And I was like Wonder Woman, but we had the hardest time getting that green paint off his face. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck with green on my face. It took a lot of work to get that green off, and he will not put anything on his face ever again.
Yeah, I didn't even think
cannot
about that.
imagine.
I don't remember if it took that long to get off.
Yeah.
Nails?
I can't imagine.
But that was fun.
Yeah.
I always like to show people that picture. So we had big things in kindergarten this week. We made butter. We made butter in kindergarten. I got a case of little water bottles, and I cautioned all of my students, do not fill up your water in the sink. I have water for you, because I needed to empty the water bottles. So all it took was heavy cream and a pinch of salt. And then I poured it in there, maybe 2 tablespoons, and they shook it. And after 5 minutes, it solidified and turned into butter. And they were amazed. So a few of them went home and tried it on bread, and they thought, well, this is great. Yeah, I mean, that's butter. And then we also did another STEM project. They made a boat out of tinfoil. And at first they were like, how? We've never made a boat before. How are we going to do this? And I was like, well, remember the other day when we drew a picture of a boat and you were like, look at that picture, there's your plan, and then you're gonna try and make it. And that was it. I didn't give them any instructions. I didn't give them any hints. You drew the boat, now try to make that boat. All the boats float. They did it. But they were so amazed, and that was more of a practice in perseverance. So that was cool. And then the hardest thing that I've ever done in kindergarten was make balloon floats. We had the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade down our hallway, and up in 4th grade and on the 2nd floor, okay, first of all, these balloons, they got to create their own balloons. K-pop Demon Hunters, I know nothing about it other than a couple of songs that I've heard on social media, but they were roomy. I was like, who what? I have no idea what you're talking about. But then I looked up a picture and I said, okay, fine, we can try and make this. But I think next year I'm going to be like, you can only pick from these things because I cannot figure out how to help you make these characters I know nothing about. But I will say the kid that did the least amount of work who made, I wish I would have taken a picture of it before his balloon popped, but he made, there was a lot of popping of balloons and a lot of crying happening. But the kid who did the least amount of work and he made Raphael, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, his looked the best. He like put a red piece of paper around the balloon, stuck 2 eyes on it, called it a day. I'm telling you, it looked the best out of any of them. It popped after the parade was over, um, but it looked the best. I'm sure I have like a video or something to show his mom. But I felt like the last 2 days before break flew by so quickly because I was like, we don't have time for computers. We don't have time for math. We don't have time for this. We have to get all of this stuff done. And of course, the kids came up to me and they're like, how come we didn't use the computers today? How come we didn't do this today? And I was like, kids, if you want to do the fun stuff, we got to figure out where to put it in our day. But they had so much fun. And I cannot wait for the 3 weeks that are going to be coming up. And it's going to go by so fast. I put up my Christmas tree and then half of it wouldn't light because it's 12 years old, maybe even older than that. I don't know. And so I went and I got a new Christmas tree, which it's so little. And I set it up here because what else am I going to do? But then now my younger kid who's 4, he's like, well, you're not bringing that to school. That's my tree. I'm like, sorry, kid, it's not. But I'm so excited to decorate in my classroom. I'm so excited we have like a holiday show that we're going to do on the 19th. Like, so we're going to have to get ready for it every day. Poems, songs, dances, the whole deal. So it's going to go by so quickly, but I'm so excited for the craziness, for just the memories. We're going to be making a calendar for like their parents. I'm so excited to do that again. Like it's been so long since I've gotten to do these things that I like cannot wait to get it all in. I just have to use this week to prepare for all of that because I can't be doing like daily preparation for the next day. It's just there's not enough time to prep for everything for the next day. So I have to kind of batch prep it.
Do y'all have like dress up days or like theme days every day between like getting back from Thanksgiving and Christmas?
I don't know. Our admin changes every year. We might have something like every day the week before Christmas. We used to have something every day, but that was with a different principal. I love that stuff too, though.
Oh, yeah. Allyson, what about you?
I don't know. We have nothing like set right now. It just, again, depends on admin. Like we have a new assistant principal and she's been incorporating a lot of fun stuff this year. She cracks me up because she's like, she goes down TikTok rabbit holes herself. And we had a meeting and she was like, oh, I saw these things on TikTok. And I'm like, I love it. So like on Friday, so this wasn't our admin. This was our guidance counselors did something. They wanted something fun for us. And they hid these little turkeys. They're like these little rubber turkeys. They hid them it was the workroom, the office, and the lounge is where they put them. And if you found a turkey, you turned it in for a little prize. But you could only do 1 turkey. And then there was a golden turkey that you were looking for the bigger prize. So like my prep is earlier in the morning. I spent like 1 prep. I only had 1 and then we had guidance. I spent that whole time. I didn't even eat my breakfast in the morning because I didn't have time. So I was like, I'm going to heat it up and I'll eat it during my prep. Still didn't have time because I was looking for this darn turkey. So I ended up eating my breakfast while she was teaching her guidance lesson in my room. But in the meantime, I was in the office because I was looking for this turkey. And my assistant principal, she's like, hey, have you seen those things on TikTok where they hide in the trash bag? So she got in the trash bag. We called the custodian up and I'm like in the like head principal's office because she wasn't in there. And I'm like on my phone recording, like acting like I'm like waiting for her. And the nurse, so she like put herself right in front of the nurse's office so the nurse could videotape too. And it took him forever to get in there. I felt so bad for our principal. Like she was like in this trash bag forever. He finally comes and he gets ready to like grab at it. And she's like, freaked him out. Like it was the best. Like, so the video that the nurse got was better than mine. Like you can hear him scream and jump, but you can see his face and hers. But I'm like, she does stuff like that and makes it entertaining. So I have a feeling like she'll come up with some stuff for us to do for the holidays, but I don't know. But the turkey thing, I ordered some and I'm going to do it with all the littles at Thanksgiving at my mom's and have them like go on a turkey hunt and then have some like prizes. I'm like, that's such a cute idea. So
Well, you
I'm
gotta
gonna do
have
that.
pajama day, right? Like, the day before. Do you guys do
I
that?
mean, we can choose as teachers to let our class have pajama day, but as a
It's
school,
not a
I don't
school
know.
thing?
I mean, they
Interesting.
might have spirit days, but it's not set in stone.
Are you guys a
So
uniform school?
No.
Oh, okay.
So my boss is a former elementary teacher principal. And before we left, she's like, okay, she's like, we haven't gotten a calendar, so we're making our own. And I was like, wait, what? So we sat in her office and like planned out the 3 weeks leading into Christmas of like what day we're going to wear what. Like one day we're going to dress like a present, and then we're going to do Christmas socks one day, plaid day and Grinch day. And we have all these days planned out. And I was like, okay, who else are we going to tell? And she's like, well, I'm going to stay in my lane. So we're just going to do our depart, like our little hallway. And I said, so are we going to treat this like underground? And she's like, yeah, we could. And I said, so we're just going to walk around admin with our ridiculous looking, you know, get up. And people are going to be like, what are they wearing? And she goes, don't worry, you won't get in trouble. She's like, I got your back. I said, okay. I said, we're going to be walking around. The superintendent's going to be like, why are they wearing bows on their head? Like, you know, because she's right down the hallway from us. And because nothing was sent out. And my boss, being the elementary person she is, she wants all the dress up days every day until we leave for Christmas. So that we're turning it into underground Christmas.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'm into it. I love all
We
those
had
days.
we had
Go ahead.
last Friday. I didn't even share this with you girls last weekend. I forgot. We had like a underground 6-7 day because Monday was the 67th day of school, but they didn't want us to start Monday. They're like, we just thought it would be too crazy to do on a Monday. So we did it the Friday before. We're like, okay. But it was like underground. So we all wore all the teachers and staff wore like 6-7 stuff and didn't tell the kids. And they're like, why are you guys all wearing 6-7? And then it's like, we turn around on Mondays, 6-7 day anyways. But that was also the day I came back with a sick kid and all that. I wore jeans that day. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I'm wearing jeans. Like, it's been a weekend. I am flying by the seat of my pants right now. I barely had any sleep. We had our best teams, and usually if we have a best teams day, we can wear jeans, but like nobody did. But I'm like, I did. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
That's
Fire
still
me?
it's so crazy to me that like that is like a rebel thing to do. I didn't realize how laid back my district was. My
Yeah,
school really.
Yeah.
we were about to do a Rebel Jean Day on Thursday, but then the superintendent approved Jeans Day for us like last minute. But we were like already like I had the director of communications come down and she's like, okay. She's like, we're gonna wear jeans, okay? And if we all wear it, she can't say anything. I was like, okay.
Man.
I don't know
That's
though. They make
ugh.
dress pants comfortable enough now that sometimes they're more comfortable than jeans. Like the pants that I just went and got today.
Yeah.
Those are more comfortable than jeans. All right, books.
Yes.
What is your all go-to books? Like, what kind of books do you like to read when you have time?
A lot of the books that I read, I listen to because I can listen to it on like I walk 3 days a week and I can listen to books then and okay, so actually I listen to a lot because I listen to it on 1.5 speed or even 1.75 speed. And so like an 8-hour book can get done in 7 hours. So actually, I listen to a lot. But my go to, if I don't know what to listen to, is Freida McFadden. Every
Yeah.
single one of her books, I love. Even
What's
the
your favorite?
crazy ones. Oh my gosh. I have a lot. I have a lot that are my favorite. The first one that comes to mind is The Crash. No, but wait, but there's another one. Oh, there's so many. Brain Damage. Brain Damage is probably the one that I like the most.
What's that about besides brain
Um,
damage?
Well, so a
Without
person comes
spoiling.
into yeah, no, I won't spoil it. I would never spoil it. A person comes into like this doctor's apartment and shoots them, but barely misses like the part of their brain where they forget everything. So they only forget part of it. And then it kind of leads you back, like throughout the book, kind of leads you to like on their journey to, I don't want to give it away. It
Yeah.
just leads you like on that journey. and she takes you back and forth. Like, the thing about Freida is that she writes so well that you think you know what's going to happen. And even if you predict it, like, you're still so satisfied, as opposed to the Hallmark movies that I love to watch, where last
just
night
know.
we predicted like everything and it's like a bad accident, but I still love to watch them. But like Freida, she does it so well. So those are like my go-tos.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I just finished The Housemaid by her, and then I'm
Mm.
looking at all the audiobooks that she has in Spotify. So I see The Crash, I see The Tenant.
That's good too.
The Teacher, though, that made a Hulu series.
I actually haven't gotten there yet.
That one,
I've heard mixed things about
was-
that one.
Me too.
yeah, the series was weird. And now that I'm like, okay, it's based off this book, I kind of want to go back and listen or read the book, you know?
Yeah.
Have you read The Coworker?
Is that also a
is on
Freida
here.
book?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm looking at
No.
it.
Okay. It wasn't my favorite. However, I always like to get people's opinions because the one character that's in it is kind of cuckoo. And what is the one show about these girls? I think they were on a soccer team and they're plane crashes and they're like in the wilderness. It's based off of a book.
Yes.
Oh, and what's her name?
Because it's on Paramount Plus and Yellow Jackets.
Yes, Yellow Jackets.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
have you watched that?
Yes.
Have you seen it? So that blonde hair, curly blonde who's like,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
cuckoo.
yeah. Mhm.
When I'm reading this book, I feel like
You
this
think of her?
character that's in it is her. Like, when I started watching Yellow Jackets, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the character from The Coworker. Like, and if you're in any book, like club pages, they'll like reference this animal for the book. And I'm like, anybody that reads the book knows. So it's interesting, but it would be funny if you guys read it. And then
It looks like she just released one called The Intruder.
Yes, I listened to it. Yes.
is it
Yeah.
good?
I'm
And-
looking at that right now.
Also, Dead Med is really good. So good.
That's one of hers.
Yes. And I don't even read the descriptions for any of her books because I'm like, I'm gonna like it. So
That's Colleen Hoover for me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
read
but some of
anything she
hers-
writes.
yeah.
Some of hers, I feel like, end up like feeling like they're all very similar.
Yes. So I had to take a
Like-
break from her for a while
Yes.
because of
I
that.
did too.
because I was reading so many of them back to back. And I was like, hold on, I feel like I'm getting a similar ending on all of them. So I had to take a break. But now I'm
Like
kind of
the
going
one that
back.
I just read over vacation, that Regretting You, wasn't my favorite book. Then we
Yes.
went to see the movie
Mhm.
and it was like Hallmark style, horrible acting. I'm like, oh, that just made it
Mhm.
worse.
Yeah.
But I am
Mhm.
excited for which one is it of hers that's coming out as a movie
Yes.
next year?
It's coming out.
Reminders of him.
Mhm.
Verity
Reminders.
is too at
Mhm.
some point, but Reminders of Him, I liked that one. So I'm excited for that movie. So a couple good books that have always left me like, oh my gosh. Local Woman Missing by Mary, is it Kubica? Have you guys
I think I've heard of that one. Yeah.
read that one?
I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
That one's really good. And then It's One of Us by JT Ellison. That one had me like jaw drop. Like I didn't see it coming at the
Yeah.
end. Like it took a while to get that book out of my head.
You know which one I thought was just like that? Have y'all read The Silent Patient?
Oh, I feel like
No. But I've heard of it.
When you talk about a twist,
Mm.
it's a twist. But it's
Why do I feel like
so
I have
good.
read that one?
It came out a few years ago. I want to say it came out maybe around COVID.
I'm thinking of The Surgeon.
No, I know that one too. But The Silent Patient, it's a long read. So it's probably going to be closer to like an 8-9 hour book if you
Mhm.
listen to it audio wise. But that one
on
is
normal speed, but if you listen to it
Yeah.
on 1.75 speed,
I can't speed it up. I've tried doing that before and then I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just listen to? I can't
Yeah.
comprehend. My comprehension goes out the window if it goes too fast.
see, I can't listen to it slow because I feel like it's dragging.
Yeah.
But okay, so I will say I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan, and they are fast talkers in that show. So you gotta
Yes.
you
You
gotta
gotta
keep
keep up.
up. So maybe I'm just a third Gilmore Girl, fourth.
Have y'all read? I'm looking at my bookshelf over here. Have y'all read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo?
No, but I've heard that's really good.
I've heard that's great. Who's it
It's
by?
So good.
Is that Kristen Hanna?
Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh, Taylor Jenkins
Sorry,
Reid.
I'm like reading it across. the
No,
room.
that's okay because I have read a few books by her, but I hadn't read that. And truth be told, Reed is my maiden name. So I'm like, oh, Reed? Yeah, I'm I'm gonna check her out. But I read Carrie Soto, The Comeback of Carrie Soto, or Carrie Soto's Comeback, or it's about a tennis player, and that was really good. And then there's also Malibu Rising. That's also
Yeah.
really good by her. She's a great author. She's so good. Yeah.
Have you guys read any Lucinda Berry books?
No.
Maybe.
Hers are. Well, the first one I ever read is called Saving Noah, and that one is like.
Yes, I have, actually. Sorry.
Have you read that one?
Sorry. I listened to it.
That book.
I just didn't know the author.
Yeah. So I've read a couple others of hers because of that one. I felt like that one just like stuck with me. And I'm like, but she writes like raw stuff, like stuff that like this stuff really happens in the real world, but it's stuff that you don't want to ever think does happen. And
Okay.
yes, it's a good one. And then it's like there's another one like Off the Deep End. And it's like about kids. Some of it is like teenager kids, things that you don't ever want to know happens, but they do happen in the real world. And you're just, so the Saving Noah, just because being a boy mom, I was like, I can't even imagine. Like, what would I do as that mom? Like, and then the ending, like, really, really took a twist on me. Her books and I like, it's like you said, it's like a crime scene or like a crash that you can't look away from. Like, kind of feel.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the books that like they just stick with you. I read like it's interesting because I'll go from reading like a suspense thriller to like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that change.
It's funny because if you look at like Goodreads between one of my best friends and me, like I have like all the murder mystery books and hers are all romance, the like half naked man on the front. And I'm like,
the smut. That's what they call it.
I'm like,
smut.
Ours are so opposite. I'm like, mine is the kind that if I die, delete my history because you're going to think I'm like, I read that kind of stuff. But every now and then, like you said, I do need to change. Like I read, is it The Last Letter? What was that one at? Yeah, The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. And I know she does a lot of the Fifth Wing or those books.
Yeah, the
fantasy.
fourth wing.
Fourth
Sitting
wing.
over there on my bookshelf.
Yeah, she does those books, which are like fantasy books. But this one was not a fantasy. It was realistic. So it's called The Last Letter. And it was a longer read for me, but it was a good change because it wasn't about murder or crime. I guess you could say there was maybe a little mystery in it, but it was more of a love story. And that's normally not my go-to, but it wasn't like a overly romantic, like Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But that was a good change. That was a good change up.
So I am normally like a fiction reader or a thriller or whatever, but I have read a couple memoirs. Did you guys ever watch the show This Is Us?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, so the girl triplet, Chrissy Metz, she wrote a memoir called This Is Me, and that was so good. That was really good. And then I've read a couple like needing a little boost in my running for lots and lots of miles when I was marathon training by myself. And so I've read Finding Ultra and like a couple other running like memoir books. There was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it talked about the girl who like won the Boston Marathon. I can't remember what the name of it was, but that one was.
So I'll get into like, and this is just kind of, I had a history major. I've always loved history. I'll read like memoirs of like former presidents or vice presidents or historical fiction. Like I love me a good World War II, World War I, Holocaust, like fiction, historical fiction based book. There's one book in particular, it's sitting over there on my bookshelf. It's called They Went Left. Oh my gosh.
That's a Holocaust one.
So it was a Holocaust one, but it's just so good. And it keeps you like just drawn in the entire time.
Okay. There is one that is okay, so I grew up Jewish, and so but in school, like we had talked about that, but like, there's history there. But I have since well, last 10 years, converted to Christianity. And there's no books written like from the Christian perspective of the Holocaust. You have like the Diary of Anne Frank, you have like the Elie Wiesel trilogy, like starting with Night, and like, all of those. I've read so many of them. Uh, but there was a book that I listened to that also talked about it. That was so good. Just like one of those intense historical fiction. And it just was so, we'll have to talk about something else so that I can find it. But it just was so good. But also The Women. Have you read that? By Kristen Hanna.
Yes.
I've heard
That
that's
one was
really good.
It's that one I read like the physical book for that, and it took me a long time to get through. It was a little slower for me personally, but that one was so good. And like, I don't know anything about the Vietnam War, but I learned a lot about that because that's just something that I just never, anyhow, I'm going to find this book.
But no, typically a good like historical fiction. And then I have to like read some for school, but I'll go between thriller to romance to a historical fiction. Like if you look at my bookshelf, you're like, she's reading about the Holocaust and then she's reading about a romance book and it's oh my husband killed my it's like, yeah, you should be worried about my reading list. Not really, but
Yeah, I have a harder time with like nonfiction, like those kind of books. But I've always growing up, like history and all that, that was not my go-to. That was not my favorite subject. I always struggled. I
yeah.
like to live in the world of this isn't my life, but I like to be inside of it. I like to get inside other people's lives that aren't like mine.
I think that's why a lot of people read books
Yeah.
to like, yeah.
Escape their reality.
Yeah. This book is called The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom. I
I
listened
think
to
I've
it,
heard
and
of it.
in the audiobook, she's the person who's narrating it.
Mhm.
It's just so good. Oh my gosh. It was so
Yeah, I
good.
think I've heard of that one.
Yeah. So it's like so easy to talk about books that we have interest in because we are not being told we have to read them. And I think that's why reading's so much more fun now. But what like professional development books have you guys read that are good, that were worthwhile?
There was one called The Wild Card, and it was written by Hope and Wade King. It's been out for a while. Um, Now I'm sure they've probably needed to like redo it because it initially came out, I want to say 2016, 2017. So it's been almost 10 years. So I could argue to say it probably needs like a revamp or a revisit just because teaching looks different than what it did back then when they originally wrote it. But when it's a good book for like a newer teacher to read, I think, and even like a seasoned teacher who's maybe like kind of stuck in their ways. But I read that one a while back. I don't know if they're working on another one. I'll be interested to see because they visit all these schools, especially where you're at, Allison. And
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they're going to come out with something else. Maybe they have something in the works. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know some of the like other people that go on their tours or whatever, they've got books of their own because I cannot think of Lanisha Tab. I know she's got
Yes.
books and different things.
Mhm.
We actually had her at our school last year. She came for a visit and like did a presentation for like the different grade levels. But we've used her like writing, not plan process, writing process and
Yeah.
stuff when we teach. But right now we're doing a book study with the Writing Revolution.
Oh, yes. I've done that one before.
Yeah, which is great. It's like finding the time to incorporate a lot of these things within what we're doing and not having a curriculum. So, but that one's good.
Have y'all read anything by Jim Knight? So in my district, people love Jim Knight, and he's wrote The Impact Cycle, and a book about how to be a better like instructional coach. He's referenced a ton of times in some other books we read, like the book I'm currently reading for professional development. He's referenced multiple times in there as well. But he's good. I know people gear it towards instructional coaching, but I think he would just be good for teaching in general, just like good teaching
Mhm.
practices. But anything he writes, he's pretty good. At first we were always like, "Oh my gosh, like our directors love Jim Knight," but now it's like, okay, he does like He does a good job. He knows what he's talking about. But the one that I'm reading currently is called The Complete EdTech Coach. And so it's like how to incorporate tech into what you're already doing. So, like, don't force it. You're almost like folding it in and letting it be organic, and how to just use what you already have, but just enhancing it, not like forcing it or changing it. So I'm more than halfway through, but I'm taking my current like digital instructional technology coaches through it. And we're kind of like going through it and talking through it, and they're enjoying it, I think. So, but I got it from another district. When I was at a PD this past year, they were talking about it. I was like, oh, I like this book. And so they were able to let us incorporate it this year. So I am.
I have a couple. One is The Growth Mindset Coach.
Yes, I've read that one.
Yeah, that one's really good by Carol Dweck. And then that I like did a ton of growth mindset work in my classroom, like when I taught 5th grade in my last district. And then the other one, we did a lot of work like in professional development in my last district also. It's called Grit, the Power of Passion. What is the whole title? The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. That one was big too, because like the thing that we were talking about a lot in my last district had more to do with you're not just smart, like the smart kids aren't the ones that are going to achieve, it's the one that have perseverance, because any successful person does not become successful just because they're smart. It's because they have the grit, they have the determination, da, 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 da. And that was me. I was never the smartest person. I was never the one like, I always had to work for it. And so anything that I have or do, whatever, all has to do with grit. I don't have, you can have passions, but I didn't have any natural like ability, I would say. So I thought those were two really powerful books.
Have y'all read Teach Like a Pirate?
No.
But I just saw that one pop up on.
So that one's really good. It kind of goes with Wild Card. It also can go with the book I'm currently reading. So he has a whole like series of them, Dave Burgess, and it's really good. That one I read, I think, back in 2019, but that one's good too.
Over 30 engagement hooks to help educators create captivating classroom experiences and reignite their passion for teaching.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And he has like a whole educational consulting company, and they have like a whole like library of books. And so Wild Card was a part of it for a little bit. I don't know if it still is. And then the one I'm currently reading is a part of the giant library.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get some good ones in there, then you're feeling inspired again. And I think we all need that.
I know. This one says it's called The Book Whisperer, Awakening the Inner Reader in Every Child. I'm like, I could do that. I think kids need to read more. There's one
Yeah.
about reading that's like a crime style. I'm like, ooh, I could totally read that one. It's called How Schools Are Killing Reading and What You Can Do About It. It's called Readicide. And it's like looks like a crime book.
Yeah.
Ooh. Like I could do that one. But yeah. I think it's like too, like because we get so much put on our plate, and like I don't know how your schools are. Like right now, the book study that I'm doing, they purchased the books and it was optional. They didn't like force us to do it. But sometimes like whenever we get a chance, we tend to not just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, pick up those books like on my own. Like it's not something I would just pick up to read because I feel like, oh, there's one more thing. And like we already do this and that, and they're already pushing this and that on us. And then like when I do have the time, I want to read for enjoyment. But it's just one more thing. But I know there's great stuff out there. But I felt like when you start like between college courses and the beginning of teaching, I read a ton of professional development books, like a ton. And I wish I continued to read more of them, but I tend to want to read books that I like.
Oh, but since the time that we have graduated college, I know like I just had an intern in my room last semester, and she's doing her final internship next semester. So she's just about to graduate. Like from that time until like the time that we're in right now, like everything has changed so much. The world, education. So like, yes,
Yeah.
I get it, but everything has changed so much. But if anyone out there has any recommendations, either fun reads or professional reads, we are open to them. Put them on our Instagram account, Espresso Yourself Podcast. Email us at espresso yourself podcast at gmail.com and just let us know, because we are always reading and we always need something new to read to put on our TBR list.
Thanks for sipping and sharing a moment with us today. We can't wait to keep showing up with you each week. Messy, caffeinated, and real.
And if you liked what you heard, we'd be so grateful if you'd follow, subscribe, or share this with your teacher, bestie, mom group chat, or training partner, or all three. It helps more people find our little corner of chaos and connection.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Espresso Yourself Podcast. Tell us what resonated, share your own stories, what topics you want us to cover, or just come say hi.
Make sure to hit follow so you don't miss next week's episode.
Until next time,
Keep showing up.
Keep giving yourself grace.
And espresso yourself.
one sip at a time.
Cheers.